12-13 साल में एक बार तो होता है ना सौरभ. Rishabh, this is an episode of Sledging Room that we thought would be a celebration, but it has turned out to be a mourning of sorts. We're gonna crib over the next 30-40 minutes. It's gonna be, because it was very tough to digest what happened in Melbourne over the last 5 days. Like the empire that was built over, say, 10 years came down crashing over 5 days. Not even 5 days. I think India were in the game. It's not about winning, but just looking at the context of the series, looking at the context of the World Test Championship, India were in the game until the last session. And then 7 wickets fell. Saurabh, Rishabh, quick thoughts. Is it probably the end of India's dominant era in Test cricket?
You know what? After what we saw in Melbourne, especially from our batters, I mean, how do you do it? You were 7 wickets away. There were 7 wickets remaining in the final session, and Pant and Jaiswal were looking confident. Actually, Jaiswal was looking a bit fidgety, but Pant was looking assured in his defense. And 1 session remaining, and I remember me and you talking over a cup of tea. Okay, so now at least we are drawing this test match. If not winning this, we have drawn this test match. Just 30 more overs. But then Rishabh Pant, I don't know what happened to him. Travis Head came to the bowling, and why do you play that rash shot? And then Travis Head made that celebration, that finger celebration, which has gone viral for all wrong reasons. But more than that, you lost the test match. I think this is India's first red ball defeat in Australia in the past 6 or 7 years.
2018 was the last time they lost
a
red ball test match.
Yeah, back then Virat used to be the captain. Then in the next tour, Virat was the captain for 1 test. Then Rahane came, and Rahane was brilliant as a captain. But in this series, apart from that 1 test where Rohit Sharma was unavailable, where Bumrah led your team to perfection, he led from the front. Rohit Sharma, since the time he has come, everything has gone wrong. That could go wrong. Ashwin retired. You have lost 2 test matches, 1 drawn test match thanks to rain.
Yeah.
And if you see Rohit Sharma's captaincy record in the last 6 test matches, he has lost 5 and drawn 1.
And that 1 because of rain.
And the last test which he won was against a Bangladesh side. So this tells you a whole lot more about Rohit Sharma's captaincy.
So you want to dive right into the topic, right? You don't want to beat around the bush.
Why will you beat around the bush? We have been beating around the bush since that New Zealand series defeat, right? So you lose a home test series after like 12 years. And as you started the podcast with, 12 saal mein ek baar hota hai.
Yeah.
And now this, you have lost a Boxing Day test match after 12 years.
13, yeah. 2011 was the last time you lost a Boxing Day.
So now I am looking forward, because the day we are shooting this podcast is the last day of this year.
Yeah.
So if Rohit Sharma does not retire, if he is still the captain of India in the next series that we play, which is probably England series, because WTC final, I don't see us qualifying. I would like to see which next 12-year record will Rohit Sharma break as a test captain.
Right. I mean, he was talking about that Rishabh Pant's rash shot. It took me back to the 2021 World Test Championship final. So India cannot think of a test match until Rishabh Pant is there at the crease. That's what I feel. He played that rash shot against Trent Bolt. He came down the track. I don't think it was needed at that moment. And he did the same thing yesterday as well.
But why are you pinning the blame on Rishabh Pant here, Rishabh? It's not fair. As in, like, we all, for our viewers and listeners, journalists shouldn't be biased, but Rishabh is a biased person in terms of his support for Mumbai Indians and all that. Is that reflecting in your analysis? As in, like, when we talk about the Test series defeat, you have straight away gone to Rishabh Pant.
Not just that, just talking about that particular moment, which shifted the momentum of the game yesterday.
Yeah.
But then apart from that, you were talking about the downfall of Indian cricket from here onwards. Well, I mean, if we see it's quite happening right in front of our eyes, Ravichandran Ashwin has just retired. And we don't know how long will we see Ravindra Jadeja playing his spin twin on the spinning surfaces of India. And again, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, I don't really see them continuing way too long in the future. Both of them. And we also need to find some good pace batteries, which we were lacking on this tour, where we will see Jasprit Bumrah not getting that much needed support. Siraj finally found some rhythm on day 4, but then again it was too late, I would say, because he has been already too drained after the first 4 test matches. So yes, we are in a transition phase, and we need to build a good team for us to redefine a dominance in the next years to come. And maybe Bumrah might be the man to do it. Him carrying all and bringing the new talent, bringing the new blood, and for us to dominate. Yes.
But yes, whatever you said there makes a lot of sense. Like we are in a transition phase and all that. But on probably today, let's not look too far ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about Sydney. Let's talk about what's going to happen there. Because there is a series which can be drawn still, and you can go home with the Border Gavaskar trophy. You can deny Australia that trophy that they have been yearning for.
Yeah.
Imagine Pat Cummins being denied a trophy. That itself sounds good, right? It's a moral victory at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Australia celebrated, I think, a drawn Ashes series, and then coming back with an earn. So
Twice.
So there is scope for you to do that, and if you do that after the battering that you got in Melbourne, let's be honest. Yes, it was a thriller.
Yeah.
In terms of India, if we looked at whether India were able to save that or not, but the moment you let Australia score that much, you were on the back foot.
Yeah.
And the moment you had them at 91 for 6 and then allowed them to score 220 odd runs, you knew that India's win was eliminated there. All that talks of 330, we'll do a Gaba and all that at MCG where previous records didn't favor you that much is bullshit. Let's not, of course, India are in a transition phase. But the question now is, should Rohit Sharma play in Sydney? Or what do you think, Saurabh? As in or should he have played in Melbourne? I don't know how to put it. Is it time? Karke the time is over for asking that question, I think.
Right.
Should he now play in Sydney? I'm asking that question again to you, Saurabh and Rishabh, both of you. Should Rohit Sharma play in Sydney or not?
If you ask me as an Indian cricket fan, I'll be very frank with you. Rohit Sharma should not have played this series as a test captain. He did not deserve to play this test series as the captain of Indian cricket team after what happened in New Zealand. Against New Zealand in India.
If you look at it in New Zealand, it's still okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But against New Zealand in India, that was a problem.
Yeah.
You get whitewashed by a New Zealand side.
Yeah.
To put and that side to put more give more context to the users. This New Zealand team lost to Sri Lanka in a test series. Their captain stepped down, Tim Southee.
And if I'm not wrong, since the start of the World Test Championship as a whole in 2019, 19, New Zealand didn't win a single away series.
Yeah.
That's if I'm not wrong, as in something like that. They have a poor travelling record.
Yeah,
exactly.
They do.
They are very poor travelers.
Yeah.
That is which is associated with them. Even when they won the WTC final against India,
questions were
there
asked.
were questions how can a team which does not win outside be named the champions of the test.
Yeah.
But this team, they went back to New Zealand, they appointed a new captain, they come to India, they practice, and then they outclass you in all departments, whether it's playing spin, whether it's playing pace, whether it's scoring runs, whether it's fielding.
Yeah.
And you, in the history of test cricket, your team suffers the first ever series whitewash at home.
Yeah.
And Rohit Sharma is like, no, this happens. New Zealand were a better team.
Yeah.
What was your plan, brother?
Yeah.
All that series, Rohit Sharma, and let me bring back the main man. I don't know where is he. Do you guys know where is Gautam Gambhir? I have not seen him since that celebration of follow-on.
Yeah.
I have just not seen him. Not listened to him what he said. Did he say anything? Maybe I missed something.
Nothing. He's not addressing the press, I guess.
Nah, unless you were a fly in the wall in the dressing room.
Yeah.
There was no chance to have listened to his thoughts.
Right.
Both Rohit and Gambhir have come out and said, if you are not happy with this test series loss, you should not be happy with the Kanpur win also against Bangladesh. So they had this trumpet of Bangladesh win in Kanpur, which was improbable because Bangladesh was some sort of world champions. And then Gautam Gambhir in his press conference before the series started, he comes out and says, we don't drop players, we pick players. I want to have a test side that can bat and attack, and then that can bat for 2 days and defend and draw a test match.
Bloody 3 sessions.
All that talk,
Yeah.
no performance. And where is he? Why is he not coming out of press conferences? At least Rohit Sharma is coming out. At least Rohit Sharma has come out and admitted that yes, my form is dipped. My captaincy is not working. Yes, he is not addressing his test future. I understand that. He's a great player. If you look at the overall...
You made this point. Sorry to interrupt you when you were making this very interesting point. But I want to stop you where you are not addressing his test future. Before we headed to the podcast room, I listened to Akash Chopra on his YouTube show. He made a very, very interesting point. Like, we all criticize players for, overstaying their welcome.
Yeah.
But he said, as cricketers, as professional sportsmen, as even human beings, we are, conditioned to think that we'll be able to bounce back. We are conditioned to think that we'll be able to bounce back. Probably Rohit is thinking that way. Like, if you look at it this way, he has had 2 series failures.
Yeah.
At the start of the year, he was a good test player. He scored very important runs against England. And he has not done well. But I think deep down, he believes, like every sportsman is conditioned to believe, that probably I can do it. And that's why he's pushing himself. But you're right, Saurabh. You were asking that question about where is Gautam Gambhir?
Yeah.
Rohit Sharma has at least addressed press conferences.
Because my problem is...
Yeah.
So, I remember, you must be remembering, when it was confirmed that Rahul Dravid is not going to extend his contract after T20 World Cup, there were rumors of Gautam Gambhir, and then everybody on social media, including me and you, I'm not questioning anyone, I'm questioning me and you also. They projected Gautam Gambhir as somewhat of Masiha, who he will come, he will do some magic, he will bring his magic wand, and then he will spring it, and then you will see India winning IC trophies, India winning away test series.
See, more importantly, it was not about the tactical acumen that he would bring into the squad.
Yeah.
Right.
It was about man management. It was about taking tough decisions. People expected him to do so.
Yeah.
People expected him to mold a side that would not bulge under pressure.
Yeah.
Like how he played his cricket. All credit to him. He played his cricket like that. At the most, pressure situations, when India faced the most pressure, he was more often than not the man to put his hand up. So we all expected that to happen under his A. It was not like, he would fix Virat Kohli's problems. Obviously, if you look at Gautam Gambhir and Virat probably is a better player than Gautam Gambhir.
Yeah.
And he was not equipped enough as a coach to tell him. Obviously, he has not done the hard yards in domestic cricket. But what is very disappointing to see is there has been so much talk, like you pointed out, and very little action. And at the same time, this team lacks his authority, his stamp.
Yeah.
The way he played his cricket, the way even KKR played their cricket, it's the test team at least hasn't played that brand of cricket.
Indeed. I mean, that has been the case. I mean, we saw in the Melbourne test itself that how we just let the game slip away.
Yeah.
When we had them 91 for 6. That was our position to pounce them on, get them, bundle them out for like 250 odd. But then again, what happened afterwards? Field retreating, we dropping catches, we losing the plot of the game altogether.
Yeah.
And that is not just the first time. Even in the first innings, we saw Pat Cummins and Steven Smith building that partnership out of nowhere. Yeah. And also this was a stat that was pointed out to us that it was for the first time since 2015 that Australia had posted 400 plus against India on their soil.
Yeah.
And that tells you that why we won the last 2 series, because we did not concede that many runs. But we have conceded them now. We have allowed the opposition to come into the game to post those many runs on the scoreboard and put pressure on us. And we have given us advantageous positions. So that fighting spirit that you were talking about, that has been lacking.
Yeah.
And yes, they really... Especially Rohit Sharma as a captain as well, he's looked clueless when there has been a partnership developing, be it with Steve Smith and Pat Cummins in the first innings, and then again Labuschagne and Pat Cummins in the second innings as well. So that has looked completely clueless from his part.
Saurabh, coming back to you, are you like saying that probably Gautam Gambhir should take more responsibility than Rohit Sharma? Is that what you're referring to, or?
I was looking at some India's previous series wins. Okay, fine. So what I realized was, since Gautam Gambhir has become the head coach, Gautam Gambhir and Rohit Sharma, the duo, the captain and coach duo, have just won the Bangladesh series.
Yeah.
They lost an ODI series in Sri Lanka 3-0. Okay. The T20 series which India won, the team was led by Suryakumar Yadav.
Yeah.
Then we go to South Africa to win the T20 series. Again, it was Sky, the captain. Rohit Sharma wins the test series with Gambhir against Bangladesh. Then 0-3 whitewash in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Now when you go to Australia, Bumrah and Gambhir win a test match. But Gambhir and Rohit, they have drawn one thanks to rain and lost two. Again, one more thing. You remember when this test season started, when Gambhir became the head coach, there was a very, very good interview, very, very heartwarming interview with Virat and Gambhir coming out. Fine. Then Virat asked Gambhir, who is going to be your next guest? Gambhir said, Rohit aayega. I am yet to see where is that interview. So, this is a very wild call from me, but is all well between the coach and the captain of Indian team, Rohit and Gambhir.
Yeah.
Because the media reports that are coming out, we cannot say that they are true or they are false, but there are media reports coming out that the selectors and the head coach want Rohit Sharma to retire. Because Rohit Sharma as a captain, I agree with you, I agree with Akash Chopra that as human beings, we are
Conditioned.
to think that yes, we can bounce back.
Yeah.
But the person who is actually facing the setback should show that on the field.
Yeah.
When you are leading a side, when you are batting, that should be there. So apart from this one innings where he scored 9 runs, but he tried to actually weather the storm of Australian fast bowling, and one good session where he was very, very proactive with his bowling changes and in this Melbourne test in the second innings of Australia.
Yeah.
I have not seen Rohit Sharma active at all. It looks like Rohit Sharma is the accidental test captain who has been put into a situation where, okay, Rohit, you have done good for India, you won the T20 World Cup, chalo, ab test mein captaincy karna padega. That is what it looks like. Even Sanjay Manjrekar said this. When he was asked about the future of Virat and Rohit, he was baffled. He's like, please, let me be very clear. There is no comparison between Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, the test cricketer. Virat Kohli, for what he has done for test cricket, for Indian cricket, he deserves a longer rope. Virat Kohli is a great test player, where Rohit Sharma is a good test player. Rohit Sharma is a great white overs player. But in test cricket, he is not that good.
Yeah.
And we all know that Rohit Sharma has not been able to repeat his white ball heroics in test ball, in the red ball.
Yeah.
So for me, the thing is, okay, Rohit, you should take a call on your captaincy. It will sound better because if somebody from the upper management, from BCI, from the management, from the coach or the selector comes and says in the public, like they did with Virat, ki Jasprit Bumrah is the new Indian test captain, that won't look nice on you.
In the footnote of a team selection release.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, I was very, very shocked listening to Rohit Sharma after his test match.
Yeah.
How do you say that naye ladke hain sikhenge?
Yeah.
Which Indian captain last threw the young team members of his under the bus when he's himself not performing? Do you remember who did this last? I can't remember anyone.
A little bit of MS Dhoni.
MS Dhoni always
blame his fast bowlers.
MS Dhoni always used to come out and say, I am the man to blame.
That is there, but
Yeah.
if even Rohit Sharma said that in this press conference. Let's not
Yeah.
go by what social media is.
No. I'm not.
He himself said that I am mentally disturbed by my form and by my captaincy shortcomings. But when you have scored say 160 odd runs in the last 8 test matches, you can't even be making these statements. What he meant Naya ladke seekhenge is the last session and the last innings where a couple of them got starts but they were not able to push on. Probably it was the captain's responsibility to stay there, hang in there and steer the team, away from picture. Just like, I think a captain like Pat Cummins on the other end has made life even more difficult for Rohit Sharma.
Yes.
If it had been Ben Stokes or someone, then it's fine. All talk again, no performance, and saved by some of his teammates, saved by Joe Root's brilliance or Harry Brooks' brilliance. That's fine. But I think Pat Cummins has been sensational. Chipped in with the bat, like you pointed out, in the first innings and in the second innings, and then bowled his heart out in both the spells, in both the innings. So I think that if you put them in a weighing machine, then that the difference in class and weight is too much
Too
now.
much. Way too much.
And I think, like you pointed out, Saurabh, like he shouldn't be making all those statements. Like when you haven't done well at all. And even that question about Rishabh Pant, if for our listeners and viewers, I'm just putting a little more context into it. They were asking, what do you make of that shot that Rishabh Pant played? And you are saying first innings, today's shot or the first innings? Why do you want to make such statement? It's not funny anymore, Rohit Sharma. It's not funny anymore. It's about, like you pointed out, like you also pointed out, Rishabh Pant's shot. Yes, he need not have played that shot. But had he hit that for a 6, it would have been different. And he played 104 balls before playing that shot. Yes, game awareness is a problem. But in what capacity are you telling a player? That's when the form of a captain matters the most, right? That's why IPL teams don't have overseas captains. Because it's very difficult to remove them. So it's, you can't be asking such questions. You can't have a funny press conference after what has happened over the last 2.5 months for Indian Test cricket, right? Because fans pay for various subscriptions. Fans are the backbones. They expect performance from you. It's not like, oh, I am being selected among billions, so I can do whatever I want. That's not the attitude. That's probably what I thought from that press conference that he had before Melbourne. Even before Melbourne, he was asked, what is happening to your batting? He's like, oh, no, nothing's wrong is there. I'm batting the same way. I'm doing it. But runs are not coming. I think that's the problem with this modern day superstars. Like Sachin Tendulkar, you talk about that Sydney innings for so long.
Yeah.
He acknowledged that he had a problem outside the off stump. When was the last time you saw Virat Kohli saying that, oh, I have a problem outside the off stump? No.
Never.
That is the problem. Just deviating away from that Rohit Sharma, Gautam Gambhir thing. Why should Virat Kohli get 4 more years? What has he done in the last 4 years? Are we running PR here?
Yeah.
Are we running PR here? Rishabh, what do you think about Virat Kohli's issue?
See, since 2020 onwards, he's averaging 30 odd.
Yeah.
30 odd, scoring just 1900 runs.
Yeah.
And see his other competitors.
Yeah.
C. Williamson, C. Smith,
Yeah.
C. Root. Where all have they gone? And where is Virat Kohli?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we even saw him working on his mistake before this tour. Yeah. Only from the Brisbane Test onwards, where we actually saw us making that conscious effort to leave those deliveries outside of stump in the nets.
2 hours in the nets.
Yeah.
Do you think that will really help them correct a weakness that has been going on for years? It's not like he picked it up last week and he has been found out by Australian analysts. Everybody, even Iceland cricket's analysts might probably know that Virat has a problem outside off stump.
Yeah.
So what are we trying to hide? That is my question. Like, why should we back Virat Kohli when he is also on the same boat as Rohit Sharma? Yes, you have scored runs. Yes, that patch was, like you pointed out, Saurabh, 2011. Sanjay Manjrekar is right, absolutely right. That is one way to look at it. But does he deserve a long rope now for all that he did 10 years ago or probably 6 years ago?
Not at all. Not at all.
That is my point. Yeah, go ahead.
And what do we have next? We have Sydney and then we go to England. How well has Virat Kohli fared against the moving ball? That also comes as a question. What did he do in the 21-22 tour? He was again in the beginning of his poor form, and I think he's going to get found out the way he has been. Even worse, it's going to turn out to be even worse for Kohli in England. So I think it's about time. If we don't reach the WTC final and if we somehow miraculously get there, that should be the end of the road for these two, according to me.
Do you concur?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we here, whenever we come to the podcast, Sledging Room, for the last 2 years we have been coming, we talk about the Indian cricket, right?
Yeah.
Anyhow, whatever happens, it's always about Indian cricket. So Virat Kohli cannot be bigger than Indian cricket, right?
Yeah.
Nobody can be bigger than Indian cricket. Sachin never kept himself bigger than Indian cricket.
Yeah.
And Sachin played for so long because he was performing. The moment you don't perform, you get dropped. Ganguly was dropped. Why can't Virat be dropped?
Yeah. My only question is, Saurabh, with those 2 hours of training in 3 days in the lead up to a test match, I don't think you can address these concerns.
No, not at all.
Go play domestic cricket. If Virat says, okay, I'm going to play probably the rest of the Ranji Trophy season and then I will work towards getting to England, then that makes sense. Now you don't want to play anything. You will probably have a month's break during the T20 series. Then you will play the Champions Trophy. Then you will come up for the IPL. People don't say no to the IPL. You can't say no to the IPL. We understand that. And then you go to England. And the same thing happens again. What do you tell to so many people who are waiting for their chances? And Abhimanyu Easwaran was even in this squad. He is part of the squad. Have we even spoken about him? Have we even spoken about his selection even once? Sarfaraz Khan, for whatever he has done, he has saved you test matches at home.
Right.
Was he even considered? Has he even brought into, debates that all of us are having, all the pundits are having? No. So why should someone who has averaged, like you said, 30 odd in the last 4 years get a longer rope? No, if that was the case, Krishnamachari Srikanth scored well in the 1983 World Cup final. Bring him back to play the Champions Trophy. As simple as that. He also did the job for you. Kapil Dev was a doyen in Australia in test matches. He played well in England. So bring him back. If you have not, we are not talking about 3-4 months performance, which is the case with Rohit Sharma.
Yeah, which is
the case with Rohit Sharma. I just want to break this myth that yes, Virat Kohli's test career cannot be compared to Rohit Sharma's test career. Virat Kohli, like someone on social media pointed out, Virat Kohli had a test career. Rohit Sharma had a high moment in his test journey.
Yeah.
That's the thing. But if you ask me whether they deserve a longer rope, no. I would say at least Rohit Sharma, if he's willing to work on his thing, probably he can, but not Virat Kohli, who hasn't addressed his concern for say 4-5 years now. There is a difference between what we are saying. Sanjay Manjrekar absolutely is right when he says that Virat's test career cannot be compared to Rohit's test career. But do they deserve a longer rope now? No. Is my opinion.
So if you ask me, both of them should be pushed out.
Yeah.
And this should be done by the senior management. Because see, I agree with you, a Gautam Gambhir or an Abhishek Nair cannot go and tell Virat Kohli, okay, you have this mistake, you have this technical mistake, can you correct it? It is Virat Kohli who has to take up the onus and has to rectify his mistake, which he is not doing.
Yeah.
And he doesn't look interested, to be very frank with you. Whenever we saw Virat Kohli in the past tours of Australia, there was a hunger. So yes, he has been doing all kind of antics on the field. But when he comes out to bat, you see, he might be patient for 1 hour and then he will go and poke at the 6th stump delivery.
It's about it's about being in that match simulation side. That's why I'm saying you can't do that by facing even Jasprit Bumrah for 50 overs in the nets. Only when you play those match situations, a domestic game where probably Delhi needs him to bat out a session in the end on a green top in a North Indian city on a winter morning. That's when you will learn, right? I don't think nets will give you that simulation. This is a combination of technical and mental aspect. Like Virat, even in that Melbourne 4th innings, he looked disciplined. But why would you poke at that delivery? Why would you play that expansive drive in the last over of the lunch? Should you go and learn game awareness again? You're talking about Pant so much. Yes, Pant played a stupid shot. What did Virat Kohli do?
This happened, I remember, earlier this year in South Africa. So there was this experts analyzing Virat Kohli's technique, and from what they saw was that Kohli had been taking his stance maybe somewhere in the middle stump or whatever, and his trigger movement was not taking him way too outside the off stump. So he was actually able to leave those deliveries at 7th or 6th stumps, whatever that is, corridor of uncertainty that has been for him. But now, since again we see on this tour as well, once again he started that trigger movement, which is once takes his bat way outside the off stump, and he ends up poking at those deliveries he should be leaving, which he should be leaving again. So that's what I feel like Kohli has. You can say he said that the hunger inside of him is dying, which I feel as well. That he's more content with his life, more content with his family. He whenever he gets an off, he likes to just fly off and go some quality time with his family. So I feel like, yes, that hunger is indeed not looking there in his eyes, and maybe it's right time for him. He's the best judge.
But is this not a disservice if we look at it like that? People who have been dedicating time for their family have been having hunger in their professional life. It's not something. I wouldn't fault Virat Kohli for taking time out to do that. But at the same time, if you can play a couple of Ranji Trophy matches per year, that would be great, right? As in, like, we are not saying that, we are not putting it like, okay, you can't have a personal life if you're a professional cricketer. Of course, everybody has to have their own life. And, Virat Kohli has a young family. We all know how difficult is it to, take care of a young family. You have to, more than anything, even if you have the resources, time with that family is very important. We are not getting into that at all. But when you know that you have not been scoring runs for 4 years, they had an opportunity to play the Duleep Trophy. I think
they
the
did.
tournament's format was itself changed in anticipation of these two playing those matches. But no, they didn't turn up. That's the point, I don't agree with the fact that he has lost his hunger also. Even when he comes out in the middle, he looks okay. But I think it's the technical fault that is, not allowing him to play that, big knock. Even that's a bit of a mental aspect also, like we said, resisting the temptation. Put aside your ego. You don't have to dominate Mitchell Starc by driving him for a boundary. Probably you can just leave him and, frustrate him. Probably when he comes to bowl that 4th, 5th spell, he'll bowl 2 deliveries on your pads, flick that out and then show your dominance. It's about a lot of things, but I wouldn't agree with the fact that he lacks the drive and motivation to play for, play any format for that matter. That's my point, as in I don't know whether you both will agree to that, but I think he still has the drive, but he's probably has to show more effort to, work on the sides that are, hindering him at the moment. That's my thought. But again, I'm asking you guys, should Rohit Sharma play the Sydney Test?
No. In ideal world, he should not. But he will play the Sydney Test. When he came for the press conference, you were sitting, I was sitting, Kingshu was sitting, and we were ready for the big announcement.
MS Dhoni type.
Yeah, it was in Brisbane also.
Yeah. But what comes? I am where I was.
Yeah, I'm standing where I am standing.
Okay, yes, you are standing where you were. But the Indian cricket is not standing where they were. We used to win test matches in Australia. We used to give them a hard run. But we are not winning anymore in Australia. So will you take some responsibilities and step aside? So as you pointed out, yes, Rohit Sharma scored runs against England. His batting is a bit of a concern. But for me, his captaincy is the biggest problem here.
Right.
Yeah, of course.
Because you saw how Pat Cummins wanted this test match. How he wanted to win this test match. You could see his field.
Yeah.
Almost every fielder was in the nearest fielding position of Washington Sundar.
Yeah. Sam Constance was in a suicidal position.
Yeah.
A couple of times. Yeah.
Jaiswal was frustrated by Sam Constance because Sam Constance was constantly chirping.
Yeah.
And Jaiswal was frustrated. We could see that. We did copies on that, right? Yeah. What happens when an Australian number 8 comes out to bat? You just stray the field. You make it wide and you give him the chance to pick up singles and just get those runs.
Even when Scott Boland and Nathan Lyon were playing, there are screenshots of him having a spread out field.
How do you concede that? So for me, Rohit Sharma is playing because he wants to be the captain. Rohit Sharma, from the start of his test career, when he started his test career, he started with 100. Then he went out. Then he had a comeback when he was made the opener by Ravi Shastri and Kohli in South Africa series 2019. And then he has been one of our most consistent batters in the WTC cycle since WTC started. But in the last 6 months, it has just not seemed right for him. Because his batting order changed just right now in the last 2 test matches, right? Before that, he was batting as an opener and he was getting out to fast bowlers in a series where spinners were dominant. Fine. Now, when you come out as a captain, even if you're not batting well, you don't let that factor affect your captaincy.
Exactly.
But here what we see is Indian team is in complete disarray. When Bumrah was leading the side, it looked like a different team. It looked like the team that dominated Test cricket for 10 years. The moment you come in the side, you become the captain, it's altogether a different story.
Like we pointed out in the previous episodes of the Sledging Room, the 2017 series, where Australia played in India is a prime example of how not to let your batting form affect captaincy.
Absolutely.
Virat was not scoring zilch in that series. But he made life hell for Steve Smith or whoever was batting in the opposition camp. So that's a very important point. And Akash Chopra made a very, very important point that I want to bring in here. That for the first time probably in his career as a captain, he has made a decision prioritizing himself over the team's benefits. That was dropping Shubman Gill and moving KL Rahul to number 3. When you are the batsman who has scored probably 20 odd runs in 4 innings before this, and you're telling a youngster to go out and sit, and you're breaking that opening combination, which you yourself thought was not meant to be broken 2 tests ago. So what does it reflect? Because you could not score runs at number 6, you came back again, and that if you are making that kind of decisions, then probably you're not fit enough to lead the team anymore. As in, you're not clear enough. I am not blaming, it might not be a selfish call. Probably it is a call stemming from lack of clarity.
Yeah.
But India have better options. It's not like the Sachin Tendulkar era where you didn't have any other captain to replace him. You have so many options now. Jasprit Bumrah just won you a test, like you pointed out at the start of the series. So that's when you should take a call. And like for me also, Rohit dropping himself from Sydney and still being in the dressing room, probably helping out, is probably the ideal way to go. Probably the only way he can save face after this, embarrassment. Embarrassment is a strong word in sport, but yes, this has been an embarrassment.
This is without a doubt
For Rohit Sharma and India in Australia. Rishabh, for you?
Indeed. I mean, at the beginning of the series, I thought to this myself, okay, Rohit is not playing the first test, maybe first 2 tests. What if Bumrah wins both and then he comes and then we start losing? Guess what? That is exactly what has happened. And we find ourselves in a fix here that we are on the verge of losing this test series now if we don't do something in Sydney.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure, like what you said about him opening the innings, and first he gave that safety cushion to KL Rahul that we back you, you are our first choice opener, you will open with Yashasvi Jaiswal.
Yeah.
But now all of a sudden he finds himself slotted down the order and him being accommodated in the opening position, and especially something like this happening in the Gambhir era. While Gambhir is known for taking some of the most selfless decisions, which Rohit also markets himself as.
Of course.
Right. So this happening, and Rohit Sharma not being able to do justice at the top of the order. So all that has backfired, and coupled with whatever his decision has been on the field. So him not playing, I don't think it would do much harm to the current playing setup if he's not there. You can bring back Shubman Gill, you can open with KL again, and Washi and Jadeja can play together. And it depends on you if you want to continue with Akashi or you want to expose Prasidh Krishna or Harshit Rana back again. Yeah. So it all depends on that.
Quickly before we round up, a quick prediction for Sydney, whether India are winning or losing. Saurabh, let's start with you.
All these last few episodes, I have backed India to win.
Yeah. You will eat the humble pie.
Yeah, I'm eating the humble pie. Yeah. We are already 2-1 down.
Yeah.
So I will again back them to win. Yeah. But the brain says Australia winning this 3-1.
What about you, Rishabh?
If we bat first in Sydney, I don't know how the hell are we going to score 500, 600 runs. So if that is out of the question, we're not winning the Sydney test.
Great.
What do you think?
If Rohit's not playing, India making it 2-2 and coming back with Rohit.
But Rohit is playing, right?
Yeah, Rohit is playing.
Even then, let me, be hopeful for the new year. Like we all should be. New year,
definitely.
New hopes. Let's ask our viewers and listeners also about their thoughts on what has been a very disappointing series so far for India, and whether Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli should continue in whites for India. You can send in your views on 8588966996. If you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Podcast, please do rate us. And like we always say, if you're watching us on YouTube, please leave your comments. We'll be more than happy to learn your feedback. With that, we close Sledging Room for this year, and we want to wish you a very, very happy new year. Thank you. Have a great weekend and have a great week.